Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for inviting me to join you in this Sustainable Development Goal for Quality Education session. My name is Dawn Bonfield, and I'm joining you from the UK, and I'm sorry not to be there with you in Kigali. I hope it's all going well. I'm sure it is. So I wanted to talk to you more about Sustainable Development Goal 4.7, the target 4.7, which is education for sustainable development. So just by way of introduction, my name is Dawn Bonfield and I'm a UK representative of WFEO, the World Federation of Engineering Organisations, where I've been Deputy Chair of the Women in Engineering Committee for a number of years. Also on the Engineering Education Committee, as well as an observer on another few of the WFEO committees. I'm President of the Commonwealth Engineers Council, so I sit on the board as well through that particular role. I'm Professor of Engineering for Sustainable Development in my day job here at King's College London, which is a higher education institute in the centre of London. And I also work at Aston University, which is in the Midlands, where I'm visiting professor of inclusive engineering, which is about inclusive engineering outcomes. I'm a fellow of the Royal Academy of Engineering, and that's part of the work that I'm going to talk to you about in the next 5 minutes or so. And I'm past president of the Women's Engineering Society, so I've got a very strong interest in gender diversity in engineering. So quality education, Sustainable Development Goal 4, I mean, a number of the targets of this goal are really relevant to us in engineering. 4.2, equal access to pre-primary education for boys and girls. 4.3, equal access to technical, vocational and higher education. 4.5, elimination of all forms of discrimination in education. And then 4.7, education for sustainable development and global citizenship. And if you haven't read through the details of that particular goal, it's really worth doing so because it's absolutely relevant to what we're doing in engineering, in education for sustainable development in engineering, and creating those future leaders. So the programme that I wanted to talk more about is called Engineers 2030, which is one of the Royal Academy of Engineering's flagship programmes this year, and last year, in fact, started in the middle of last year. And we have been looking, we realise that there's a drive for a different kind of engineering skills for 2030 and beyond, so that we can address the sustainable development goals. And if we carry on the way we're going, we are not going to achieve those skills that we need. We realise that there's this rapidly changing global context where we have these global levels of poverty and hunger, social unrest, conflict, right, climate tipping points, all sorts of different global drivers that make us realise that we need to do something different with our engineering education, not to mention the growing importance of artificial intelligence. And if we look at the carbon emissions curve and think about climate change, we realise that the engineers that we need for that downslope there, shown in red, are very different to the engineers that we've trained for that upslope, where we've been developing and creating, producing carbon, if you like, but creating a world where we haven't so much understood the need for a circular economy and for decarbonisation and for reduction in the use of resources. So this is what's driving the change in the UK, and this is the context, if you like. So the UK's ambition is urgent. We have a real lack of engineering skills in the UK. We have these enormous skills gaps that have been identified. 130,000 engineers needed in addition to the engineers that we already have, bearing in mind that the skills, the engineering skills, are used in all sorts of sectors where they hadn't been previously. And yet we're only encouraging 5% of our available students in the UK to go into engineering. We have a continued lack of diversity. We have only 16% of women in engineering, and that has become static. It's even slightly lower than last year's data point. And we have declines in electrical and electronic engineering and in apprenticeships. We've got a big teacher shortage as well. So we've realised that there are all these drivers and the need, the need for this different type of engineer that I just mentioned. So all these drivers are leading this programme. So it started out with a literature review, looking at what we thought the skills would be for the 21st century. And we've come to the realization that we have two clear gaps in digitalization and data and in sustainability skills. We need future engineers who will be globally responsible, ethical, have these leadership skills to create the change we want to see, and be able to think holistically and systemically. We need radical changes in the way that we deliver that education as well. And we need to go about addressing some of the misconceptions that young people and their families have about engineering as a career, and help them understand that it's much more of a caring career where we're caring for people and the planet. We need to look at upskilling and reskilling as a profession and find different pathways in from different entry points and increase the diversity and retention in the sector. Now, we did a lot of looking at what the vision would look like for what we actually wanted. And we came back actually to this alignment with the Sustainable Development Goals, in that we have now 3 different categories of people, planet, and prosperity. So we're looking for resilient and future-facing engineers, socially responsible and inclusive, trusted agents of public good, holistic in approach, who are data and digitally fluent and commercially and economically literate. And we also realise that we need to align with the inner development goals so that we get engineers who are value-driven and ethical. So where we are now, we've completed our phase 1, we've done the research, we've done the consultation with industry, and we've created a set of resources, and you can see the resources that I've shown in the slide below. So we've got a competency compass, reimagined degree map tooling to embed this in our degrees, ethics, sustainability toolkits, frameworks. We've also got a new government in the UK, which gives us another opportunity to look at curriculum change. So that's a unique time and opportunity that we have right now. We're also doing this international comparison, and that's part of me speaking to you here today about trying to find out what is happening around the world in other similar programs and how they might be different or similar to ours. And then we need to go about creating that change that we've identified. What we're doing here, just very quickly, at King's College London, is we are trying to create a golden thread of sustainability through our engineering courses with a progressive knowledge base for their level of engineering sustainability content knowledge. We're looking at best ways of delivering that to create this lifestyle change and the lifelong buy-in and the drive to this value change, if you like. Giving students opportunities for them to take action as well, because we realise that we can become very disheartened, if you like, if we don't have ways of making change ourselves. And we're looking at how we're assessing this competency, which is a values-driven rather than content-based competency. So what are the markers around those values? And what are the systemic drivers and the barriers to this successful implementation, and how do the students engage? We have a conference here at King's next year, Engineering Education for Sustainable Development 2025. The abstracts call is open right now, so if you're interested in that, it takes place in June. It would be great to see you here and show you around where we are at King's in London. So please do think about putting in an abstract for that and coming along. So they're my contact details if you do want to get in touch, if you've got anything to share. And I look forward to the Q&A and the panel session. Thank you very much.